argument came up.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to bring this one up, huh? We ain't talked to each other for 20 whole minutes in Vegas.
And you see us, we talk all the time.
We was hot.
Shut us up.
All right, welcome to another episode of Expand Your Brand. On today's episode, it's a crossover episode for a podcast. We have the BS boys, the BS podcast boys. We have Brendan and Smalls joining us today.
What's up?
You guys can catch the show Wednesday night live on Facebook on the Vintage Cigar Lounge
Facebook page. We
Yeah.
usually do it every other Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of been working out for us for that way.
Yeah. Well, what's your podcast been like, guys? Like, what made you want to start one?
Do you even remember that?
Dude.
What started that whole question? I don't even remember how we started that.
You know, honestly, I think it was just really boring. Like, well, we need to be a little bit more engaged on social media. And Greg used to do lives all the time, like
Yeah.
Vintage After Dark. I don't know if anybody remembers the COVID days when he used to do that, but
That was before I was employed here.
yeah. Oh, you almost got
Yeah.
it.
I was wondering if we're gonna have
That's
a
an
fire.
inside joke. I almost burned us down one time.
Go back a couple lives on that page and see what happened. But you know, we were really just trying to like engage more with our audience and stuff, and you know, do some stuff that's a little more interactive. And you know, Smalls and I, we can talk a bunch of trash all the time.
Yeah.
So you know, it's a good outlet for us to just be dumb.
Literally, it's Brendan and Smalls, but it is a BS session because we literally talk about any and everything. So it's, I mean, we got into it. We were arguing over worst Halloween villains.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's an
it got
interesting
crazy.
one.
It got wild.
Yeah.
I was pretty upset that some of these people were picking Freddie. You know, Freddie, you got to be asleep for Freddie.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Who'd you pick?
It was Jason.
Oh yeah, Jason's
Jason's
pretty
just
sick.
ruthless.
Yeah.
he is.
And if you're sleeping, he can kill you there too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know?
You're in a sleeping bag.
Yeah, right. Fact proven.
So, yeah, I mean, you know,
Coffee. That's how you get rid of Freddie.
yeah,
Just saying.
just 24/7. You know, I mean, maybe nowadays you guys hear about the Panera Bread charged lemonade thing going on.
No.
So they've got like an energy drink lemonade right now, and it was just labeled like charged lemonade.
Yeah.
So it's got an insane amount of like caffeine and uppers and stuff in it. It's essentially like take those like truck stop like energy pills and just dump them into some lemonade.
Oh.
It's killed 2 people.
Really?
By now.
Sounds
Yeah.
like
my
Four
God.
Loko original.
Yeah, I was
honestly.
just saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never heard of that. That's a bit scary. I don't think I could.
Yeah.
So
So
they're
I mean,
out here killing people. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Trying to get rid of some of the customers, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
and they so that's, I mean, if you want to keep Freddie at bay,
Well,
maybe you
might not
some
keep
charged
the-
lemonade
yeah.
and.
I'll say
Take it easy,
this.
though.
You might
I
not
don't
keep
care
the
how
good-
many people they put under the bus. I'm getting that cinnamon crunch bagel. Like, listen, I feel you. I understand you're mad. I know you're doing all this, but let me go ahead and get 2 of those.
Don't shut down.
Yeah, please don't. I won't let them shut you down.
You hear that, Panera Bread? Smalls got you.
I'm here for you.
So,
That's awesome. So you guys just decided to start a podcast one day, get more engagement with the customers and everyone. And how's the turnout been and everything?
So it's funny. So like we get a lot of feedback from people locally here, but when we went out to Vegas, for the trade show, people were coming up to us saying, "Hey, we watch you guys on your live." I'm like, "Holy crap!"
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I was like, "We really don't do anything but just talk."
Yeah.
Like people actually want to listen to us talk. That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
You know what? If people want to keep listening,
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
like I said, we can talk. So, you know, it's wild though. Yeah, it's wild to see like going out to Vegas and like random people just like, oh yeah, we watch you guys every time you're on. Like,
That's crazy.
all right, you know, like usually we get a decent amount of engagement when we are actually live.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, our videos, like we don't do anything really to promote them except like have them on Facebook. And
Right.
they end up getting like between 400 and 600 views on average.
Wow.
Like
That's
by
awesome.
the end of the week. So
Yeah, that's great.
And that's without us like putting it out anywhere. We just, like I said, we just BS.
Yeah.
Just little things that drive engagement. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, that's great.
We always have a lot of new stuff in here, and I mean, this guy's always flipping out different products into the humidor. So it's like trying to keep up with that. So letting people know, hey, this is what's new this week. Because, I mean, there used to be a time where you go into like a cigar lounge and they keep the same things on the shelves.
Yeah.
That's not us.
No.
So we'll flip different things in and out depending on what we see, what we try, and what people actually recommend. So we brought in stuff just based off of somebody saying, hey, you guys should try these.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. Taking the feedback and ordering it into the shop.
You know, like EP Carrillo, for instance. That's, you know, a brand that we brought back in. We hadn't had it for a long time, and I had quite a few people coming in like, you guys have EP Carrillo Allegiance or Pledge or anything? I was like, no. And then we were doing an event. A different area rep just happened to be in town, saw that we had an event, stopped in, and was like, hey, like, I work for EP Carrillo. I'm not your area rep, but, like, I just want to drop you guys off some samples. And it's been a while since I smoked one. I was like, oh, I forgot how dope these are.
Yeah.
And brought them in, and we're already, like, almost through what our initial order was. So it's like, we just try to listen to people when it comes to that kind of stuff. And, you know,
That's
It's
awesome.
pretty. Yeah, it's great
So
how it
that-
unfolds like that.
Yeah, you just
when it's not even expected.
yeah.
What has been like the podcast journey? What would have been like some challenges, and what has been kind of the best parts of the podcast?
I mean,
Let me take this one.
you go.
So my biggest thing was I didn't want to be on camera, on live, by the way. So there's no editing on live.
Yeah,
Like, it's the first take. That's it.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing was I don't want to get on there and we don't have anything to talk about. So when we first started doing it, we would have like a list of stuff to like go over, and Brendan would try and hide it in the corner so I could like read it and make sure I stay on topic. And that worked out for a little bit, but then it just got to the point where I think we forgot the paper one day.
Yeah.
And then we just winged it, and it's been good ever since.
Awesome.
Like, so we've not gone back to that motto. I was like, we'll fill in the blanks with stuff if we need to.
Yep.
But we have a couple things we go over, but most of it is just engagement. Like if somebody says something to us, we try and talk to them and engage them. And a lot of time it's what you're smoking, or you know what you guys drinking on tonight. And,
Yeah.
And then we go through those questions and answers with people, and then if there's a specific topic, like we were talking about video games one day,
Right.
and there were some systems people were chiming in I've never heard of, and I'm like, oh, what? I've never even heard of this game or system. So it's just trying to figure out a good format, and it's tough. We're still always learning something new.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are in the same boat.
Yeah.
So I mean that's what I would say was our biggest like turnaround for us. We just stopped trying to make everything official and
Just go with it.
Just go with
the flow. Yeah. What was the one video game system you never heard of?
I don't even remember the name.
I mean, like, people were throwing out, like, what was it, ColecoVision?
ColecoVision, yeah. That's the
you
old-
know,
old-
and, like,
yeah.
all sorts of
I heard
random
of one
old
called
stuff.
Jaguar. Have you ever heard
Yes.
of that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That one had like Alien vs Predator on that game. I remember that. Like,
How
wow.
old are you? I've never heard of
I'm
this.
36.
I like video games.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Old man Marona.
Yeah.
We got some people that tune in that are older than us. And they're giving us some knowledge or some stuff. I'm like, I didn't even know that. But you got it. So
How did you guys meet? Because you guys have great chemistry.
Yeah.
And how did the friendship begin and everything?
oh, can I tell this story as well?
Yeah.
So I came in here. I've been a member here for years.
Yeah.
So I like coming here. I come and hang out, and you know, this guy was started working here, and cool. We met, we talked, and we cool ever since.
Yeah.
So then these guys were like, "Hey, you should work here," and I'm like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
Like I am enjoying what I'm doing, because you never want to go. This is my place I escape from work.
Yeah.
So I don't want this to turn into work, and then it be something that just turns into work every time I come in here.
Yep.
And they left me alone for about 2 days.
Yep.
Then I just kept getting, you should just do it. You should just do it. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. I told myself, I'll do it for a couple weeks and see how it is. And what is it, a year and a half now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the one place I work at. It doesn't feel like work.
That's
like,
awesome.
I come in, I chill with my friend, and we smoke cigars.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So even when the members come in, even days that we're busy, it doesn't feel like work at all.
No.
It's just us experiencing cigars and sharing that experience with everyone else. So
Nice.
it's always a fun time. And it's literally no different than what I was doing when I was a member here.
Yeah.
So it was the same
Right.
thing. So
Just getting paid
Pay
for
for
it.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's
I
like,
think Greg slid that one at me. He was like, hey, you might as well let us pay you to do this, what you're already doing. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I was like, so, but yeah, that's how me and him met, and then it just got better and better as we go. We start throwing ideas at each other, and you know, we made a few like little adjustments in here and there in a couple places, and it's been great. Getting a lot of
Yeah.
good feedback from people. I mean, you guys have been coming in, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
When everything happens like organically like that, it makes it so much better. I feel like nothing's forced; it just kind of happens the way it happens, and
Yep.
you roll with the punches and go from there.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's like when Smalls and I work together, you know, like we counterbalance each other a lot too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if somebody, like if I'm having a crap day, right, and I'm still like, you know, you're behind the bar, you gotta like put on a happy face and like,
Yeah.
hey, how you guys doing? What's up? You know, but like that one person comes in and like knocks me off a little bit. He's like right there, like, oh yeah, what's up, guys? You know, like
Yeah,
he like we can read each other and just like, you know, communicate with like just the look. And
Yeah.
it's like, so it's that stuff was just like an easy progression
Yep.
from like when you were coming in as a member and I was just working here and just bothering the shit out of you.
that is a fact. I wish I could say he's exaggerating, but he is not.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, it looks like you guys have a great friendship. Anyways, you guys are.
Oh, yeah.
Seem very close.
Oh, we still want to strangle each other from day to
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
That doesn't go anywhere.
I think
you
that's
know,
normal.
That's normal, right? Yeah.
It is like that's what happens with your friends, you know.
Yeah.
Like especially when you're like always straight up with each other
Right.
all
Yeah.
the time. You know, he and I. It's like if we got beef about something,
We know
We
there's
know,
beef,
yeah,
and we
like-
know what the beef is about.
Yeah.
yeah, like there's no like tiptoeing around or anything. Like yo,
Like
yeah.
I'm mentally prepping myself to come in because I already know the conversation we're about to have.
Yep.
Like, he's not gonna get me on this point and this point because I got this point and this point. You know? It's wild, but it works because there's never a situation we can't figure out.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
that's why it made it easy to go into doing like the podcasting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, because you guys, I've watched a few, and you guys have like great chemistry on air, and you guys are
Appreciate
always
that.
funny together when you're like talking about stuff. The arguments, I love the banters back and forth.
Yeah, we have some pretty good
Yeah,
banter. I will say, you know.
That's not even script. It's normal. That is
Yeah.
us every day. Like
Yeah.
that's just how we talk to each other. It's actually probably worse because
Yeah.
we gotta be a certain level on live. Like, it's worse. You want to see the real version, come into the lounge.
Yeah, we keep it PG-13, you know, on the
Yeah,
live.
I don't
and
need
the-
Facebook banning us. You know, so, you know.
But you know, it's like, and that's why I knew, like, because we're such good friends, we have such good chemistry.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, all right, if I gotta be on Facebook, even though I don't want to be, like Smalls was saying, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be on live.
Yeah.
Like, that's just I like to do behind the scenes stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But like, somebody had to step up and do stuff, and I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna drag his butt with me.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
You already
It's
see
like-
where the arguments start.
you know, I was
If I
like,
gotta do it, you're doing it.
I was like, come on, bro. Like,
The guy
you'll
I
be
forced
fine,
into
you know?
this job.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
the start of it. It's all where it all
You
starts.
know, and it's like it's still just me and him on my phone
Yeah.
on a stand, chilling in the back room, just like doing dumb stuff,
Yeah.
talking trash about stuff, and telling people what's been going on here. And
Yeah, I love
for
it.
some reason, people like it. You know,
That's
So,
great.
As long as that's still a thing, we'll keep going.
And now a quick word from our sponsor.
Welcome to Vintage Cigar Lounge, the place where you escape to, not from. The place where your cigar options are limitless. The place where friends come together and bond over the finest cigars and drinks. The place where your selected few can retreat to and enjoy premium cigars, great conversation, and your liquor of choice within the privacy of our private rooms. Looking for a place to escape to? Our doors are always open.
Yeah, you guys have a smooth, good, easy conversations with each other, and it makes it a lot easier. And we'll have to catch the camera on live where you guys just come in here one day and you guys are just banter back and forth.
Yeah.
We'll drag you into it.
Yeah.
Just know if you throwing shots, we throwing back. So
Mhm.
I love it.
don't think we're gonna be scared of a little camera in our face.
No.
What do you guys have that you can share upcoming on the podcast? Or any topics, any discussions, any sort of things that you want the viewers to know?
I mean, upcoming, we honestly, we take it week by week, so like when we have stuff coming up, that's what we talk about. This month we have an event. It's with a cigar company called Dissident, which we're smoking right now. It's on the 21st. They're made by Black Label, and our rep Goss. Have you guys met Nick Goss?
I don't think so.
So if you're scrolling through our lives, he's the guy in the suit of armor.
Yeah, full suit of armor.
Full suit of armor.
Yeah.
I wasn't even prepared for that. No one warned me. I just walked in and man had on a suit of armor. I'm like, Game of Thrones, here we go.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got that coming up. We have a membership cocktail party coming up on the 27th that people will be getting emails for. And that's just how we roll. We'll be having a couple things happening coming up in the new year where we're like tweaking things around here.
Yep.
The whole place is due for a facelift, so keep an eye out for that. Coming up, like, we're gonna be firing up our own like actual podcast too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, awesome.
That's awesome.
So
all the equipment and everything. Good.
we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. So
where will that podcast would also be on the Facebook? Will it be live, or will you guys be doing more like pre-recorded stuff?
Some of that stuff, because we know a ton of people in the industry,
Yeah.
like that'll be like pre-recorded stuff
Yep.
that we'll put out. We'll probably put the videos out on Facebook and YouTube and Spotify and things like that for the audio stuff. But we know so many people, we have so many connections that it just makes sense to do that stuff.
And I still like the lives because we can go back and forth with people that are watching us.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
live at that point. I mean, one of the guys told us he would, as soon as he get home, he'd be watching because we never start on time. Stay at 7. It was usually like 7:03, 7:05. I'm like, I gotta catch up. So he's waiting to see when we started. It's so I like going back and forth and talking to people while we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's the funnest part of doing the actual lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
The engagement. Do people ask you anything crazy on the engagement part of it?
Oh, some people.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I've cussed out a few of my friends. I'm like, I'm working, man. I'm working. He asking me stupid questions.
Yeah, country be dropping.
Country be dropping on there all the time. Man.
Yep.
It's just, oh my God.
He'll be busting you up about your polo.
Oh,
or whatever,
everyone's always talking trash. So.
Where'd your guys' interest come from cigars? Like when did it start? How did it start? Brennan, I think we mentioned that in one, but Smalls, how did you get into them?
So funny enough, my best friend Anthony Devlin, he now works here because I'm like, if I gotta work here, you gotta work here. So I did the same thing Brendan did to me.
Yep.
Him. So he works here now part time. So he works the other weekends I work. I don't work. I want to say it was about maybe 10 or 12 years ago. He smoked cigars a lot, and he was like, "Oh, you should try and smoke cigars." I'm like, "Nah, I don't do that." And I smoked a Acid Cuba was my first cigar, and we got in his little Bronco. I'll never forget this Bronco. And we smoked the cigars in that Bronco, and I tell you, I got out of that Bronco and I thought there was something wrong with me. I felt drunk. I was stumbling. I was like, I do not like this. And then we smoked outside, and it was a little bit different. So that's how I started. And then, obviously, acids are sweet cigars.
Yep.
Yeah.
I started trying other things, and then I started, I wonder what this tastes like. I wonder what that tastes like.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so then you start smoking different things. And then we started coming to lounges. And we started coming here, and that's when it really opened up like a whole avenue of, I want to try this one now, I want to try this one now, and it just turns into a thing.
Well, because you had like a little bit of a negative experience at the first lounge that we went to.
The first lounge, I won't name any names.
Yeah.
I went to, the guy was extremely rude to me. He didn't want to help me. He told me I couldn't walk around. I was asking him what he had for specific cigars I was looking for. And he was just like, all I have is this, and and I'm watching people walk around this place and get cigars. I'm like, you got to be in the crew to come here. I was like, I'll never go to a lounge again. And Anthony actually brought me here, And one of the owners, Greg, was here, and he sat down with us the entire time and just talked with us the whole time.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought lounges were like the place I went to. This is what they're supposed to be like.
Yep.
So we became members, and we've been coming here ever since.
Yeah,
so
that's
now
awesome.
when I'm here, I want to make sure everyone else has that same experience.
Right.
Whether it's their first time or their 50th time here, you want to have the same experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of, how I live my life through things, and
Yeah.
that's where cigars came from, and that's why they're important to me. I meet a lot of cool people in this industry. Like, I met you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know, you're still on the...
Yeah.
still working on here.
That's all right.
Well, you meet people anywhere from, like, DJs to banking investors to
Yeah.
lawyers to people that are, in college. Like, you just
Yeah.
meet cool people from all over the place. So it's the one industry, you never know who you're sitting next to, you never know who you're talking about, and everyone has a story.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, the networking aspect of it is insane.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've learned a lot from just having casual conversations, and it's not like a bar vibe.
Right.
So you go into a bar, it's always a lot of, like, a bunch of people, loud music. We have music, but it's ambience. It's just
Yeah.
a background.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can just actually relax and hang out. And it's all about the conversation.
Yep.
So that, for me, was enough for me to get into cigars. And I don't think I'm leaving it behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting, like, how you mentioned, like, when you meet people, when you come here, or anything like, because I remember, like, I was here for the Ohio State Michigan game. You just, like, connect with people, just, like, watching football with people, and, like, the guy sitting next to me he comes in everyone. He used to work for the Province Journal, or was, like, a reporter, or like, something.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah, I sat with him and talked to him for, like, was sitting next to my dad and I, and we were talking with him for a little bit, and he ended up talking about PC basketball and all this stuff on top of the game. But it's like whenever you come in here, it's just very chill vibes. There's no
Yeah.
you don't feel like no one's gonna get in a fight. It's just very easy going in here.
Well,
Which is-
usually the people that go into places looking for, like, that kind of animosity, they walk in here and they're like, oh, this isn't the spot for me. And they
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
leave. Because it's a vibe when you walk in here.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
everyone feels it when you walk in.
Right.
It's not like walking into, like, one of the bars downtown.
Right.
It's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of work to kind of like curate how it feels when you walk in,
Right.
Yeah.
how it feels when you hang out in here. Like, I mean, somebody can come in and they're just like grabbing some cigars to go, but like they're still getting the same level of experience that like somebody coming in to hang out all day, smoke cigars, drink whatever,
Yep.
all day long is gonna get. Like, we're still gonna, say hey to them when they come in the door, see if they need any help, like, just treat them like this is their second home.
Yep.
So.
I feel like the intimacy when you come in here, I think that's what separates it, especially now in this day and age. Like, customer service is lax,
Right.
so when you go into a place and it just exudes out, I think it makes a world of difference, and
Yeah.
that's what you feel when you walk into here.
Yeah, that's our big
I appreciate
thing.
you saying that, because
Yeah.
that's something we work hard on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's so
that's-
important though,
Yeah,
and able to thrive. Like, I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that is the main, like, separation from other lounges? You, like, how you guys are so customer service oriented, or is there another, like, separator? Why do you think you guys stand out?
So, I mean, yeah, to start off, I think that...
Well, they
like,
hired me, but we'll get it.
We did.
I know what I do. Other lounges don't have me.
That's true. Other lounges don't have smalls. But when we look at like just the baseline of like customer service, that's a thing that we concentrate on a lot. Like, he and I are always talking about like how to improve the experience in here. It's not like we figured out a formula, it's done, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we're always talking about like how do we bring it to the next level. Just like we're always like figuring out how to spread out into other areas and avenues where we can kind of like grow the brand and the business. Like, that's a always evolving thing.
Yep.
So, it's like staying on top of how we address customers and how we make them feel when they walk in the door. And a lot of people are intimidated to walk into a cigar shop, let alone a cigar lounge,
Yeah.
where it's a completely different vibe. And we get a lot of like new smokers or only occasional, so they don't know a lot. And I'm not going to name any names, but there are a lot of lounges where even Smalls and I could walk in there, and obviously a lot of places are not immediately going to know who we are, but they'll treat us like we don't know anything.
Yeah.
You know, or like, what do you guys do? Because like we're gonna walk in a hoodie and jeans and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, and some of these places, it's like you walk in, you get the side eye, right? And like in reality, like we're probably gonna know more about the cigars that are in their humidor than they do.
Yeah.
Right? Just because that's how we are. Like, you know, we obsessively like research and know like all the backgrounds and everything. But we take that and like kind of flip it, because it's like we know what it's like to walk into a place and feel like you don't belong there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why we try to be so welcoming when people come in, whether it's your 500th cigar or your first cigar.
Yeah.
Like, and we just start that journey with people when we walk them in the humidor. Like, we don't just leave people to their own devices. You know, even if some dude comes in and he's like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'll give him 30 seconds to a minute. And then I go in there and I'm like, well, what are you looking for? You know, like you just kind of like feel the room and see what it is they're looking for that day. And, you know, nobody should have to go into a spot and feel like, this is not the place for me. Like, I obviously am not wanted here. So, you know, living in a, like, big vacation town, we get a lot of people from all over the country every summer, and even during the winter time, you know? And
it shocks me, because I don't know why people come here in the wintertime.
It's
It's cold. Go somewhere warm.
Yep. But, you know, like, and we'll even have people that they feel bad about the type of cigar that they choose when they come out. Oh, I know, it's like basic, it's just the, you know, acid, flavor infused. It's like, we like operate with like, the cigar for you is the cigar you like. You know, like, I'm not gonna.
It's too short to smoke a bad cigar.
I'm never gonna pass judgment on somebody's cigar choice. You know, like, and I think that that's what separates us from a lot of places, is that we do a lot of the work to like put the cigar that's right for the person in their hands. You know, we're not gonna sell stuff that we need to get rid of. Or, you know, push just one specific thing on people, like, and that's why, you know, we have return customers that are, you know, anywhere from their, you know, 21 all the way up to like 90s, and we're talking guys, girls, groups of girls, like mixed groups, like
some of the girls that come in here smoke darker cigars, like stronger cigars than I can even smoke. It really doesn't matter. Like, it's the spectrum is all over the place for people that smoke. So it's like nothing you can tell me about. Oh, I don't feel judged about your choice of cigar, because again, I told you guys my first cigar was acid. I smoked those for a long period of time, and they have their purpose. I mean, they're really good cigars. They're definitely sweeter.
It's still
but that's how I got into the actual cigar. I would have never smoked any cigars if it wasn't for that cigar. So I have a special. Every cigar has a special purpose.
So there's definitely no judgment, because I only smoke acids and Fat Bottom Betty's, whatever the company that.
It's Drew Estate.
Drew Estate. That's all I smoke. So I've never been judged for it. So
no
it just is what it is. You know.
Go to the one that you like. I
Yeah.
always go to Christoph. That's usually like I usually float towards that way. I'm like, I could try this one, but I'm gonna go to something I enjoy too.
One thing we do differently too, like if you're smoking something, you constantly smoke the same thing. We'll try to find you something a little different, so you can try something, branch out a little bit. And that's kind of where we specialize at. So when you come in and you're like, well, I usually smoke this. I was like, well, have you tried this? Try this one, since you've always smoked this one. See if you like this one. And then we can start branching out on other things. So you never know until you try something different.
That's true, How do you guys get, like, the flavor profiles? Because that's, like, one of the things that I've always, like, tried. And I'm like, I don't. Maybe COVID room might
Hints
taste
of stone
that.
fruit. Hints of stone fruit.
So here's the thing. There are, like, cigar review websites that, like, I mean, look, it's like wine. People can go way off into the weeds about it. Like, this has a grassy aroma, like the meadows of Missouri. They were freshly cut in 1997.
Hints of stone fruit.
Yeah, stone fruit. That's the most
that one
egregious
was wild.
What the hell is a stone fruit?
Exactly.
Bro, there's like 27 types of stone fruit.
Yeah.
Like, don't come at me with that. Yeah. But you know,
gooseberry.
like when it comes to wine, like I'm obviously like a newbie when it comes to that kind of stuff, and it's very basic. But cigars, like, it's just like training your palate and smoking cigars at different points of time in the day and realizing what tastes different, what doesn't. And it's not that the cigar tastes like chocolate or tastes like, you know, it has a fruity, like a specific type of fruit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of equate it to like tasting like what something smells like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So when somebody, like, if there's certain cigars that have a leathery flavor profile to it, but I'm not sitting around chewing on leather, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's what your body associates with a smell.
Yeah.
Brazilian Maduros, they taste like dirt.
Yep.
But good dirt. And when I say that, everyone looks at me like, what? I'm like, yeah, exactly. You have to smoke it to kind of understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So a lot of it comes back to you have to smoke it.
Right.
So we smoke just about everything that's in there. So when someone asks us, we'll tell them, like, this is what I got out of this.
Yeah.
I'll never tell someone to smoke something that I haven't smoked personally.
Yeah.
I won't recommend it. I won't say it's bad or good. I'm just like, listen, like, I haven't smoked that one. I smoked this one, and this is what I got out of it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what works for us.
Yeah.
That's how we learn about the different profiles in the cigars. Of course, we read it, but sometimes we read it and we're like,
No.
Yeah.
that's not it.
There's no stone fruit in
There's
this bad
no-
boy. Yeah.
No
Like,
stone
who wrote this review?
Yeah.
He needs to be fired.
Yeah, like, you know, but it's one of those things where, because we also want to be a place that's really overly welcoming to people,
Yeah.
and a place where you don't feel out of place,
Yeah.
we're not gonna hit you with like all these crazy descriptors. It's the basic flavor profile, like the basic tasting notes that most anybody can get out of a cigar. So when we get new cigars in, like, I'll make a breakdown of what they are, like what the binder, the wrapper, the filler is, and then it's strength, and it's country of origin, and then it's basic tasting notes. And I'll send it out to everybody in the group chat, because it's easier if somebody's like, oh, well, I like something lighter, and if you can ask them, well, like, what kind, like, do you like something that's kind of woody or nutty or creamy? Like, it's a lot easier to then put them on another good cigar,
Right.
because we don't want to be putting out trash suggestions to people. Like, the last thing you want is to talk to somebody, give them a cigar, and it's the worst cigar in the world for them.
Yeah.
You know, so
And it may not be the worst cigar in the world. It just be the worst cigar in the world for
them.
that person.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because that could be the perfect cigar for somebody else.
Yeah.
So you got to ask a lot of questions. And a lot of times we go into, like, at least when I go into the humidor, I ask a ton of questions, even if it's their first time being in there or their 100th time being there.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to narrow it down, because if somebody says, well, I only like cigars from Nicaragua, well, cool. That eliminates all of these over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these couple that we have now.
Yeah.
What are you looking for profile?
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much how we break it down.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
How do drinks pair?
That's
Is there a specific criteria or no?
No, I mean, you know, a lot of that is personal preference.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, people will come in and they'll smoke whatever cigar, and then they'll only drink a gin and tonic, or they'll only drink Coors Light.
Yeah.
Obviously, I try to do the same thing behind the bar that I do in the humidor.
Right.
You know, like, we are an old school influenced place.
Mm-hmm.
So I push a lot of people on some classic cocktails that they might not know about, and it's like, it opens up just kind of like what you know
Right.
about drinks and how you pair them.
Listen, some of these glasses that he comes out with, I feel like I need to be wearing a monocle and a top hat when I'm drinking these things.
Right.
I feel I'm going to break the glass while I'm holding it. But they're really good drinks.
Yeah.
But,
We still try to like keep it. It's like keep it accessible to people.
Yeah.
No matter like what your walk of life, and that's the whole thing about, you know, vintage, is that we just try to be accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
it's cool, too. So, like, some of these drinks, the classic cocktails Brendan comes up with, it's stuff I wouldn't order normally, but I could be sitting out with my friends and I could order that and feel comfortable drinking that just because I'm here.
Yeah. Right.
You know, it's not something I would go to a restaurant, order, and feel out of place ordering, because I would definitely feel out of place ordering some of these drinks.
Right.
But like here, it's just a different vibe, and it gives you the opportunity to try stuff in a different avenue, different area. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go into like a ton of detail and research to like think of like for cigar. There's more than meets the eye than just like when you walk in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you guys are working
the
hard.
the biggest trick is making it seem
like
it's effortless.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah.
And you asked us earlier what separates us from everyone else. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100% part of it. I mean, we do I work another full-time job outside of here, but this is my passion. Like, I enjoy doing this. So, again, you got me researching something that doesn't feel like work.
Right.
It's going to be top-notch every time I do it.
Right.
Same thing for this guy.
Yeah.
So when you have two people that love what they do, it makes it a lot easier to spread that love to people that are actually around trying to enjoy what we enjoy.
Right.
So nothing makes me happier than someone going, I really love that recommendation last time I was here. Can you recommend something else?
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest compliment I can get anytime someone walks in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, it's like when it comes to figuring out, like, just to circle back a little bit, like figuring out pairings and stuff. Like, it's all about putting the work in and seeing, well, does this cigar pair well with this? Like, and once you get experienced enough, like, okay, well, this drink's like kind of gin based, so you know what kind of flavor profile that's going to be. It's obviously not going to go with X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You know, so then that makes it easier. But it's all about experience. And you know, when Smalls first started working here, he was like, "Yo, how am I going to learn all this stuff? All these cigars in the humidor?" I was like, "Smoke them."
Yeah.
You know, and like. You know, it's just once you start smoking them, they like.
Anytime someone had a question, I was like, let me go get Brendan.
Yeah.
It's like, Brendan, this guy has a question. I don't answer questions. I ring people out.
But now, you know, it's like Smalls is the go-to guy. You know, like everybody comes in, they take his recommendations to heart, and you know, it's like that's what you want. Like you want like to train your staff to be able to just like stand up on their own when it comes to that stuff. So it's like it's easy when somebody just goes, yeah, sure, okay, I'll smoke them. Like, you know, and it's just putting in the work. It's a different kind of work. It's not like, you know, I'm not sitting in a cubicle cranking out spreadsheets. You know, like it's a different kind of work, but we take that work seriously. So
I mean, even as far as like we were talking about like drinks and pairs and things like that, like because of our relationship, we can be brutally honest with each other. So like if he makes a drink and I don't like it, I'm gonna tell him I don't like it. It's not gonna be like, oh no, this is great, and then you know, and that's how stuff. And a lot of places, that's how stuff ends up making it to the bar and making it on menus and stuff, because you don't have people being honest because they don't want to feel like they're letting anyone down.
Right.
I'll tell him it sucks. I'm like, hey, do that again, because I'm not drinking this. This is terrible. And then when something's good, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like that, and that goes back to just our relationship too. And we try to have this type of relationship with like the rest of like our staff, just like being open and honest with everybody, and not like, you know, if somebody's doing something the way that they shouldn't be doing it, then like, all right, look, like I pulled aside. You gotta tweak this because you can't be doing it this way. This is how we do it. Here's why we do it this way. It's not just because it's my way. It's like our tried and true way. Like we've been in the trenches, we've messed up, and you know, we've done dumb stuff.
Right.
And like I've had this stuff backfire on me, and I'm giving you the benefit of my experience. So like I'm gonna be open and honest with you, and I expect the same from like the people that I work with. And that's a big part of it. Is like I can make a drink, and if Smalls thinks it sucks, he's gonna tell me it sucks, and I'm like, all right, back to the drawing board. You know, like. And it helps us. It's not that like he's critical, right? I mean, I want his criticism on it, but it's helping us be better, right?
Yeah, put out the best product.
Yeah, because if you just have people going, yep, that's great, you're gonna fail.
It's not gonna be as efficient as it needs to be.
No.
It's crazy with everything that you guys do. How do you decide what goes into the humidor, what doesn't? What do you try new, or?
That's where most of our arguments come from, honestly.
That's where our first
Big argument came
Really?
from.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to bring this one up, huh? We talked to each other for 20 whole minutes in Vegas.
And you see us, we talk all the time.
Oh, we was hot.
You can't shut us up.
Yeah.
But finally, I was like, yo, let's go get some pizza.
We were like,
You know, so
did the mom thing. You hungry? I'm not apologizing, but I'll give you a slice of pizza.
you know, but it's like
We're
like,
both very passionate about what we do, so when we come to an impasse on that, neither one of us wants to stand down.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Because we both have valid points, but I will admit at that time I feel like I was in the wrong because I didn't have all the information, where you had more information on that than me. I just liked the particular cigar I was smoking, and I was like, we should have these. So
Yeah.
it was just one of those situations, but I mean, a lot goes into, you know, pulling cigars into a humidor, because we also think about the cost of cigars sometimes too.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get something in, and you know, we don't want the cost to be spread over to you guys. We want something affordable,
Right.
so you can sit down and smoke a really good cigar for a decent price.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that's priced really, really high, and they're not that great. There's some stuff that's priced that high that are really good.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of decipher what's going to fit into that realm.
Okay.
So it's tough figuring out what goes in and out of there.
Exactly.
But like you said, Brendan and I come up with a few ideas, and we flip a couple of new things in there, and it comes back to us just trying stuff and seeing what works.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of that, like, you know, we can get samples from reps from different companies and everything. Like, if we've, I don't know, if, you know, Smalls and I go to a lot of other cigar lounges just to, like, hang out, get different perspectives, like, you know, generate some new ideas. Because if you're just chilling here all the time, like, we're just going to be like, oh, yeah, we got it. But, like, you know, so we go around and look at people's humidors like, oh, okay, like, they've got this. We used to have that. Why don't we have that anymore? Or like, why have we never had that cigar?
Yeah.
And then you try it, you put in the work, and it's like, we think about price, because, like, I know from ordering all the cigars, putting them in the system and everything, like, I generally know what the price is going to be just by the price on the shelf somewhere. So we can factor in, like, what it's going to cost here, how much it's going to cost us to, like, open up an account, essentially, because you're going to, usually a lot of places want you to do a minimum of X. And then, like, how that cost is going to be reflected here on our customer base. But then it's also, like, all right, well, what's the vibe of the cigar? What's the vibe of the cigar company? And is this something that fits in with our customers' tastes, too? Because we have, you know, having this lounge, we have the opportunity to kind of curate our customers' tastes and expand them more. And we take that job, like, seriously.
Yeah.
So if it's a dog turd, it's a dog turd. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
like, we're not gonna bring it in.
Yeah.
Like, there was a company that desperately wanted to get in here, and they made a big celebrity cigar. We won't name names, but
I was really excited to smoke that cigar too.
it came, and we were like, yeah, this is garbage. Like, this is
Interesting.
no, like, that's garbage. This one's garbage. This one's garbage. Like, the whole line was terrible. And we're not going to bring something in just because it's got somebody's name on it.
Right.
That people will be like, oh, I'm going to buy that because it's
Just because,
this
yeah.
person's cigar. Because then you're selling your customer an inferior product knowingly. And we're never about doing that.
Right.
So, you know, there's a lot of, like, trial and error that goes into what's going to come in. And a lot of consideration from the both of us. And Jesse, too. Like, you know, one of our owners, Jesse, like, he's in here a lot, and we'll bounce off, like, you know, if we...
I like how we talk like he didn't exist for like the last 30 minutes. He's gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, what's up, Jesse?
What's going on, Jesse? We'll say your name 3 more times before we end.
Might appear.
But, you know, like, we'll bounce that stuff off of him sometimes. Like, well,
Yeah.
what do you feel about this cigar? Because, like, we don't know a lot about this company. Like, do you know a lot about this
Yeah.
company? Like, and
Tommy too.
Tommy, yep. You met Tom,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Tom's forgotten more about cigars and tobacco than most people will ever know. So if I, you know, that's like, if I have a serious question about, like, what's the quality of this cigar, like, just send him a message.
Yeah.
he's on it. But
Tommy actually held classes in here on cigars.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
He was-
I actually rolled my first cigar with him. He showed me how to roll one,
mm-hmm.
from start to finish. It was
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work
Yeah.
that goes into it, but we're serious about it.
Yeah.
We're serious about keeping the humidor like a really good humidor.
Yeah,
Nice.
So,
that's great.
That's awesome.
yeah.
I think, do you have any other questions? Or?
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions we
Mm.
have. Do you guys have any questions for us or anything? Or
What got you guys into this?
oh man,
Because
Yeah.
I'm sure our
Wanna go
viewers want
first?
to know
I'll
this
start.
too.
It. Yeah, I'll start it. I was on the Roadie Runback,
yeah,
and then, which was Jeff's first podcast that he did by himself. Awesome interview, and it just kind of piqued my interest, right? Like I think podcasts are great in the sense that, for me personally, and I think for a lot of people, to be able to tell their story just openly with no structure, I think
Yeah.
it's weird, right? But podcasts are essential and vital in order for someone to be able to express themselves and tell their story.
yeah.
So that's what I get out of it, and that's what I love about it. So we were talking off air after the podcast, and we ended up going to get a coffee. That half-hour meeting ended up being 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, we just ended up talking.
Just talking about life, talking about basically everything and anything. And then down the line, we just created this kind of idea. Jeff was able to kind of start one. He asked me to co-host, and we kind of rolled it out. This year's been amazing. Definitely learning curves. The summer was a huge learning curve.
Yeah, big time.
We
Yeah.
got super busy, so the consistency wasn't there
Right.
as much as we would have liked. But yeah, going forward, we're just gonna keep it rolling. Try and introduce some new things, and Jeff, you can take it from there. But that's kind of how we started,
yeah,
and
that's-
it's just kind of an organic thing, and that's kind of my motto now. Like, I don't want to force anything. I want things to just
Right.
kind of happen the way. And then also the message that we've gotten this year when we've had people tell their stories is that
Organically.
things just unfold the way that life lays it out.
Right.
And that is like for in your instance, you smoking that first cigar, look where it is now, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a passion of yours. Like,
Yeah.
everyone wants to I look at it as everyone wants the American dream. Everyone wants to be in their gift, be embodied by their gift, and when you do that, it's not work, right?
Right.
And that's what everyone strives to do. So that's where I'm coming from. That's my journey, and this is just part of it, and it's been great so far. I'm looking forward to 2024 for sure.
Be good, good year. Yeah, I got into podcasting. I think it was like 2018 or 19. I just was kind of like at a low with like work and everything, and I was like, I need something to escape my job, so I'm gonna get into like sports podcasting. And my first ever podcast was Court Vision, and I was just gonna talk about basketball or whatever. So then I just started interviewing people and then started rolling out and going that way. And then I just remember when I was interviewing people, I was seeing the same guys that I interviewed being on different podcasts, and I was like, this is not a niche. Like, I got like following like 6 different people that are all on the same podcast, telling the same stories. So it's like, I'm not gonna get the same amount of views. There's no niche. And so when I was living in Dallas and on my way back up from Dallas, I just remember when I was in Dallas, they had their own like high school sports football channel. I was like, they have their own like Fox Sports. They cover all the high school sports. And I was like, man, we don't do that in Rhode Island. I'm on my way back. Maybe that's what kind of like geared towards Rhode Island. So I started a Roadie Runback, and that kind of just became a monster in itself. And like, I started interviewing people and coaches and high school, college, and folks in Rhode Island, and it just blew up. It just got like pretty cool. Like, guys around the area just like interviewed all different kinds of sports people. So it was just a lot of fun to have those experiences, and it took me on some great experiences. I don't think I would have ever imagined a life as an accountant would have taken me.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I'm sitting there with I'm on the Gronk bus with Michael Carter Williams and one of the Gronkowski brothers. Like we're riding down to Atlantic City.
Those guys are huge.
Yeah, they're all big. Yeah.
I'm a big guy. Those guys are huge.
Yeah, and then like I got sick on that. I got food poisoning or something on that trip, and I had Michael Carter Williams, an NBA player, taking care of me. Who when I'm sick, he's like giving me water, making sure I'm eating and stuff. And then meeting Demetrius Andre Boo and Demetrius Boo Andre, who's a professional boxer, middleweight, and holding his championship belts. All the stuff you're I never would have thought I would have imagined it. But I wanted to go in a little bit of a different direction from the high school sports, and so I ended up getting linked up with Austin and Joe from Golf News or I asked if I'd be interested in doing a podcast with him. I was like, yeah, I would like to. I kind of wanted to get into the golf, and then we kind of I reached out to Austin after we had a good connection and everything, and stayed friends after our meeting, what she explained. And then it just took off. I mean, it's been a lot of fun with doing more business and entrepreneurship, golf, all the sports mix in that business, and listening to everyone else's story around the area, hearing your guys' story of how you guys got started. So yeah, podcasting was just an escape that just turned into a passion, and you learn a bunch of shit along the way, how to edit, what not to do, try not to get the story or the scoop from people, or how people react. I remember trying to do something that someone was not reacting to, just trying to more fun. They wanted to be more serious, so you had to flip that switch, and it's just things that you learn along the way. And then editing has been the biggest bane of my existence, but it's been fun to learn all new different things and aspects. So yeah, that's how I got started, and looking forward to the next few years and see where it goes from there.
Nice.
Yeah. It's been a journey for sure.
Well, what do you guys got? What do you have coming up for 2024? Anything fun?
We don't know. We haven't really planned that too far into it. Right now, we've been doing this, getting interviews ready, and then, I think we want to do a little more, some other maybe content, or trying to do, I know we wanted to do on-course content this year. We never got a chance to do any of that, but.
Yeah, just kind of. I feel like taking everything that we learned this year and trying to apply it for next year.
Yeah. It's just been.
I think we're heading towards the being able for people to tell their story even more.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we want to focus on a little bit, which I don't know. I think that me personally, I'm passionate about learning how their lives unfold in order to kind of apply it to my own life, and just honestly just networking. I think networking is the most important and vital piece of success there is, because if you know someone in different fields, you can get answers to just about anything. So I think that's most important, and I think that's kind of one reason why we started this, and we're looking to keep it going for sure.
Yeah, it's been a journey, and this we'll learn as we keep going, and plan out what 2024 will be very interesting. We learned from our mistakes over the summer, and summer just got crazy. Yeah, interesting for sure.
I can't wait to make mistakes to learn from them.
Yeah.
Because that's coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's, I don't know. That's one thing that both of us kind of look at. Well, you're not gonna learn from something if you don't make a mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like Smalls was saying earlier, when we first kind of went off script, the first day that we just wung it, it was just simply because we've got to bring paper back.
Is that a word? Wung it?
Wung it?
Wung it.
That's
Winged
not
it?
even a word.
Did we wing it?
Wing it. The
Oh.
past tense.
What's the past tense?
Wong, I think. I don't know.
By the way, Brendan used a lot of spelling words that you would only hear in these contests, and I call him out on it every time. I'm another challenge word today.
Yeah.
I'm not always right.
We get the
Sometimes
gist of
it's-
it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's something like that.
Don't put Brendan in the spelling bee.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Giving kids words that
I'm
they
I want the definition of that word right now online.
Can
You
use
wait
it
till
as
the
a
next time
sentence?
you use a word. I'm I want the Webster Dictionary definition of that word right now. I will call you out.
Yeah. So, when are you guys gonna start doing some anime stuff?
Yeah, I know.
I know you got that anime
the-
Instagram.
That's usually that's more down my line and everything like that. Yeah, I usually have that connection with everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on that.
Yeah, and that's actually connected me with some pretty cool people. So like, I made a connection with a guy who plays for the Minnesota Vikings, a cornerback. He just started liking my page, and we DM'd each other, and I was like, all right, well, like, so we just became pretty friendly,
And now he's gonna be on Expand Your Brand.
yeah. And he could be. And then like same thing with Ahmed Best, who is Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars. That guy just like started liking some of the stuff, and he DM'd me saying like, hey, I love your page, and we just exchanged information, and then some other stuff. It's like interesting, all these professional athletes or college athletes who like it, and then they catch your page randomly. Like Michael B. Jordan randomly liked one of my things, and I was like, I tried to reach out to him, but he didn't really get back to me about it. I was like, hey, big fan, just if you want to pay my student loans, that'd be great.
Like, hey, big head, how are you?
Yeah. We got some extra cash laying around the area. Don't, but yeah. So it's usually I mess around with that. Just the pages is for fun. But yeah, I mean, it's made some great connections. So Expand Your Brand could be getting some NFL athletes and stuff like that on the show for sure.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Well, if you need me to hold the camera.
Yeah.
Just gonna shoot me a call.
Yeah. I definitely do.
I'll get on the plane.
As we know, I need someone to maintain the camera. Because I just ran up there.
You don't have to pay me. I'll just go.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll sit there, look at it, make sure it's still
Hold
loud.
on.
You know?
Networking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been I don't know. We'll see where that goes. I mean, we made a lot of connections off of that, so it's just something I've been building on and holding on to. I thought about like getting rid of that account, but I was like, I'll just hold on to it, and I just made so many more connections. Keontae George's NBA trainer, like I talked to him, like all these guys. I'm like, this is nuts. This is so weird to like make these connections, but it's cool. It's like
Anime, much like cigars, the great equalizer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. You just make a lot of connections. You don't realize it. I mean, doing like the podcast and stuff, networking, getting more friendlier with you guys has been like a great benefit of it. Like you meet people on the show that you end up interviewing them, and you don't realize that you guys would become friends or connect in some sort of way. Same thing with like Instagram, social media. You just connect with people, and then you realize you have the same interests, and you become like really close with them. And it's just been it's such a weird world we live in now with all that stuff.
Right.
Like who you meet, and like social media just connects to everyone. So
if I seen Brendan walking down the street, I probably wouldn't say 2 words.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
we got a lot in common.
Yeah. It's funny. It's just a weird world we live in, but some of it's good in a good way. It's a good thing to connect over social media or podcasting. I have a lot of friends that I made from just interviewing coaches, players, people. Just like like shit, we have a lot in common. Like this is like we have great chemistry. Like if you were on TV, you probably didn't even see me in the stands waving to you to like and then now you're like texting each other back and forth, like saying like, hey, how's the day going? How are you doing? Like good stop on that play. Like it's just a weird thing, and it's just funny, but it's good stuff. But
Nice.
yeah. We'll see where it goes. So eventually, I'll get you guys. We'll talk some anime.
Yeah. We'll bring the cigars.
Yeah. We'll bring
Exactly.
cigars. We'll hang out together. Yeah. But yeah, it's always a good time. I mean, this has been a lot of fun sitting down with you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
It's
this
been a
is a
long
lot of
time
fun.
coming. Yeah.
Oh, we've been talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
I randomly seen you the other day.
Yeah. We were
Like,
just.
let's do this. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of
This is
fun.
cool.
But thank you guys for
Yeah,
joining our
thank
show.
you guys having
yeah,
us.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a good
great.
time.